Imagine taking your finger and continuing to slam it into a door over and over again. That's how I feel about certain parts of my finances. I cannot stand it. So when I get this feeling, I either quit or find a workaround. Here are 7 of those things that I quit to simplify my finances and make my life a whole lot easier. Up until 2021, I gave myself $1,000 of fun money every year to invest in anything that I wanted. I didn't track all of my returns during that time, so I can't tell you exactly how much I made, but I did come out ahead. The one stock I do remember buying was called Textron back in 2009 for something like $12 per share. Once the price tripled, I was out. Now don't go thinking I'm some investing genius, since I made money overall. In the grand scheme of things, it was an insignificant amount of money, and I got very lucky every single time. The reason I gave myself this fun money every year was based on a recommendation from a finance guy when I was first starting out. He mentioned that if you give yourself some money on the side to do really degenerate stuff with, you'll be less likely to touch that larger amount that's earmarked for long-term retirement savings. This made sense and was actually pretty helpful because I learned a lot more about investing that can only be taught by doing the thing. But that all ended in 2021 when I got very lucky and made an easy $3,000 investing during that GameStop craziness. I was in the right place at the right time before most of the public knew what was going on. Once I made that money, I was reminded of my time in college playing online poker. When you hit it big, you just keep on playing because you never know when to stop. Eventually, all of your money goes right back to the house, and then regret sets in. Unlike my college years, now I have a better understanding of how luck works and how it can't easily be replicated. So after that GameStop win, I decided to take all of my chips off of the table by ending this fun investing money experiment forever. All of the degenerate things that I do nowadays don't involve money. It involves hanging out with the guys that I've been friends with for over 25 years, very far away from anything that will ever be seen on the internet. I was out to eat with a couple of buddies the other day. When the checks came, we all pulled out our individual credit cards to pay our bills, except my one friend Chris. This guy whipped out and was fumbling through a stack of credit cards as thick as 2 double-stuffed Oreos put together. He's one of those weirdos who is obsessed with maximizing credit card reward points. He's got a card for just about everything. Oh, I'm going to buy some Cheez-Its from the gas station, so I have to use my Cheez-Its credit card, which gives me quadruple points. Sorry I have to leave our golf league early today. Gotta get to Target before they close because I get 300 bonus miles for buying a 12-pack of socks. Chris is going to need all the airline miles he can get so he can afford to fly overseas to pay for that back surgery caused by carrying that stack of cards in his back pocket all the time. Juggling multiple reward credit cards is about as annoying as trying to juggle dating multiple women at once. Sounds fun in theory, but it's not. Trust me, that's why I quit trying to optimize points with multiple cards. I've got one daily driver, which is the Fidelity 2% cash back on everything. On top of that, they allow you to transfer your cash rewards to a brokerage account to invest instead of spending the money. Respect to my friend Chris and all of you out there like him. That life just ain't for me. I used to religiously dollar cost average into my index funds every month, thinking it was the best way to go. I would say to myself, but what if I invest the money and the stock market crashes for an extended period of time? I need to hedge my bets by putting in little bits here and there to avoid losing too much money. Eventually, I got sick and tired of doing this and seeing the market continue to go up over time. So I quit dollar cost averaging and instead lump sum invest 100% of my money every time. I thought to myself, over the next 30 years, do I really think that all of these publicly traded companies I'm investing in will just stop growing, stop making money, and stop innovating? Well, if history is any indication, humans will never stop until we wipe ourselves off the face of the earth. And if that happens, then what's in my M1 Finance Roth IRA won't matter anyways. Until that time comes, I'm going to bet on the future being brighter than it is today. Help support my little dog Molly and the channel by hitting that thumbs up button so she can spend more time at her favorite place in the world, the woods. A few years ago, I randomly missed paying my trash and water bill for the first time ever. Now luckily, they didn't arrest me and throw me in jail, but I felt like such a moron. Who does that? Missing a payment when you have the money is something a 10-year-old would do. So this was the day that I quit manually paying any of my bills. I turned on auto pay for everything that I could, even if they charged me a small fee to do so. I didn't care. One exception is my credit card bill. I do have it set up to auto pay by the end of every month, just in case some kid runs me over with her bike and I can't get to a computer in time.
Sorry. You might.
Throughout the month, I'll still go in there and manually make payments here and there to keep my checking account balance up to date as I spend money throughout the month just to satisfy my OCD. Oh, and I quit saving money manually as well. All of my regular savings for future car repairs, gifts, home repairs, insurance, and everything else is automatically moved out of my checking account every month. If you think I owe your mom child support, then just hit me up and let me know so that I can set it up to auto pay her. My buddy Seth called me the other day and the topic of current investing news came up. Some of you might know Seth. He was the bearded guy on the YouTube channel Everything Money before they had him sign an NDA, did some shady stuff, then fired him off the show. If you're wondering why he just disappeared one day and you never heard from him, it's because he legally wasn't allowed to speak up. Either way, he's doing great. So Seth called me and started talking about things that were going on in the stock market world, thinking that I was up to date on everything. Little did he know, I had zero clue what he was talking about because over the last 2 years, I quit paying attention to the day-to-day stock market news. Some things naturally creep into my awareness since some of you send me things and I'm on multiple group texts with friends, but most current events fly right over my head. For example, we're already halfway through the year and I couldn't even tell you what the market has done. For all I know, it could be up 50% or it could be down 50%. Think about all of the news that's happened up until this point in the year that you know about. For you, it all happened, but for me, almost none of it happened. We're both in the same place we would have been, whether we heard about it or not. But the big difference is you wasted your time consuming that garbage and possibly acted upon it while I didn't. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm referring to anyone who consumed any type of that news along the way. I'm also not saying that all current events are irrelevant, but we should all be asking ourselves on a regular basis whether or not this stuff is serving us in whatever future goals we have. If it's not, then go find something better to do with your time, like clean your toilets or declutter your house, because it's a mess. Back when I was drowning in $82,000 worth of debt, I thought that taking out a loan for a car was just a normal part of life because it's the only way to afford one. I mean, only super rich people can pay cash for the cars they drive, not some broke schmuck like me. Boy, was I wrong. As I slowly began to pay off all of my debts, it started to make sense how people who aren't rich can do it. All you have to do is not spend more than you can afford and have all of your other finances in order. Once I paid off that 2010 Hyundai Santa Fe, I decided to quit borrowing money to buy future cars. The vicious cycle of buy, borrow was a hamster wheel that I didn't want to be on ever again. I still pretend that I have a monthly car payment to save up for my next car, but instead of sending that money to a bank to pay off a loan, it's been going into an investment account since 2019. When it's time to buy my next car in about 2 years, I'll have more than enough set aside to pay cash. Don't know about you, but I personally like to outright own some things instead of feeling like a freaking pawn in this big system of owing everyone and their brother money. Screw those World Economic Forum people who said in the future, you'll own nothing and be happy. Plus, unlike when you have a car loan with a bank, when you fully own your vehicle, you don't have to pay the extra money for full coverage insurance. Get enough to cover medical bills, then self-insure the rest. I used to wonder where all of my money went each month. It felt like I was playing a real-life game of Clue. It was Professor Plum with a stick of butter in the library. That's when I quit trying to guess where my money was going and started tracking all of my spending. 15 years later, I'm still doing it, and it's been one of the biggest drivers to my financial success up until this point. Check this out. I can go back to January of 2014 to see how much I was spending on housing. FYI, rent was that low because I had 2 roommates at the time. My housing expenses have only doubled 10 years later, which is actually pretty surprising. To be fair, technically my housing expenses are higher since I put money away every month for normal upkeep and repairs like that $20,000 roof replacement that I'm gonna need in about 15 years.
At least $20,000 for a roof? I thought that a house was an investment. That's what they always say.
I mean, yeah, if you ignore all of the phantom costs associated with homeownership. I know some of you geniuses out there are so good with your money that you don't need to track where it's going. But for us mere mortals who aren't on your level, we need to do it. As someone who does both, I notice a parallel between tracking my spending and tracking the food that I eat every day. Just like knowing where your money is going, humans are terrible at guessing how many calories they're eating every day. Makes me think about that one Secret Eater show. The people on that show are admittedly overweight and can't seem to lose it. They're 100% convinced that they don't eat enough to be as heavy as they are, but for some reason, the scale won't budge and in some cases, keeps going up.
The floor just cracked. I believe I might fall.
One lady thought that she was eating 1,300 calories per day, but when they tracked it, she was actually eating over 3,100 calories. You cannot lose weight if you don't know what you're eating, and you can't get a better handle on your finances if you don't even know where your money is going. I'll have a free copy of my spending review spreadsheet down in the description below if you need help figuring out where your money is going. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Done.